Globally released under a Creative Commons license, the IoT-SI Smart Cities and Critical Infrastructure Security Framework is the first consultative and deployment-based end-to-end security framework for IoT smart technology ecosystems. Focusing on deployment processes and assessments required to meet best practices within smart technology environments, the IoT-SI framework provides IoT-SI practitioners the necessary methodologies to ensure security and privacy design principles are established and integrated in all smart cities and critical infrastructure deployments. Organizational Readiness Survey. This can be considered phase 1 of the IoT-SI framework. Prior to the assessment of the proposed IoT/IIoT solution, an Organizational Readiness Assessment (CSAT) cybersecurity assessment tool is conducted to ascertain the overall cyber maturity model and the depth of security controls deployed within the organization. This is a critical component of a cybersecurity assessment plan and should be implemented prior to an IoT/IIoT deployment. Provides an assessment of the current technology landscape. This is achieved by utilizing an IST assessment tool to determine the current maturity levels of the organization. Such an approach allows for a pre-IoT deployment view of what the current state of controls are within a given environment. This is a critical stage of the framework, allowing for decision-making prior to any procurement or deployment process has commenced. Security engineering and risk analysis. The IoT-SI SIRA framework incorporates two key design features that differentiate it from other security risk assessments. The first is the use of operational models. Participants applying traditional security risk assessments typically rely on their tacit understanding of the operational context in which a software-reliant system must operate. Our experience indicates that tacit assumptions are often incorrect or incomplete, which adversely affects the results of a security risk analysis. We propose using operational models to describe a system's operational context. Privacy and data protection. Privacy is considered a basic right or freedom that a person should be able to enjoy, like a right to be left alone or to be free from unnecessary intrusion into one's personal life. It also has immense normative value, and what it means to have privacy can be talked about in terms of a person's home or the physical territory they occupy, their body, their communications and their information. Building information modeling. In 2015, the first edition of PA 1192-5, Specification for Security-Minded Building Information Modeling Digital Built Environments and Smart Asset Management, was published. It identifies the need to take appropriate and proportionate measures to protect asset information, providing useful guidance for asset owners and stakeholders. Importantly, PA 1192-5 sets out a triage process to identify the need for a security-minded approach with recommendations where the outcome of this triage process is that the built asset and/or a neighboring built asset has a degree of sensitivity. Reference architecture. The vision for the IoT-SI reference architecture as part of the IoT-SI framework is to provide with a tangible, deployment-driven, pragmatic framework for those who wish to design and deploy a secured IoT/IoT architecture. Facilitation Guide. This document provides guidance and support for those leading the implementation of the IoT-SI framework into the system's life cycle. The framework aims to perform a risk assessment and related activities for a complex chain of events, focusing on developing a risk analysis approach capable of handling the complexity of today's cybersecurity attacks. IoT-SI Framework Report. The purpose of the IoT-SI framework is to ensure organizations and communities implement best practice cybersecurity and privacy controls as part of all smart cities and critical infrastructure project and initiatives. The purpose of the IoT-SI facilitator was to objectively evaluate levels of compliance and cybersecurity controls, as applicable to the organization's proposed IoT environment. In addition, the framework through its process of assessment aims at examining any areas of potential improvement or inconsistencies in order to propose corrective or proactive/improvement actions to the organization's environment. Creative Commons License. The IoT-SI framework is released under the following Creative Commons license. More information on the IoT SI framework is available at iotsi.io.